Bernadine Wu. I'm the CEO and founder of Fit for Commerce. I also am proud to serve on the NRF Digital Council and Shop.org board in the past. So I really want to thank you for being here, for being at NRF, and I hope that you'll also come and see us at Shop.org in the fall. I saw many of you there just last September. So we don't have a lot of time. These are power sessions, so we try to pack a lot in. I've got some great co-presenters here with me, and I'm not going to actually spend a lot of time up here, although those of you that know me know I can probably talk for a while. But a bit about Fit for Commerce, in case you don't know us. We're a boutique consultancy. We're a peer advisory. For many of you, we work with you and your teams on-site as trusted advisor. We work with brands, retailers, wholesale, across anybody that's selling online. We've got some wonderful clients. And a lot of what we do is we think about things in terms of investment decisions. We have this notion of well, now it's called digital diligence. It used to be omnichannel diligence. Before that, it was e-commerce diligence, so we have to pick whatever is the next buzzword. But the idea is that when you're making an investment decision, when you're making any decision, that you think about it like an investment. And whether that's choosing a technology or planning a strategy or deciding how we're going to revisit or improve our stores, we have to come at it from an investment mindset. And I think that what Bonobos has been doing and what Tulip has been doing, and they're going to share a bit of that, is really up that game in terms of how you invest in your organization, in your customer experience, and in your growth. So today I'm joined by Dominique Essig to my right here. She's the Chief Experience Officer, and I love that they have this title there at Bonobos. And Bonobos, in case and she's going to tell us a little bit more, is an e-commerce driven men's apparel company that when you go, you look for products that you like, and then you don't actually go home with them. You order them in your size and in 5 different colors, hopefully, and different details, and they're shipped to your home. It's a wonderful model that really puts a lot of emphasis on the store experience, which really isn't so much of a store as it is an engagement with the customer and how you're going to be with the brand, because you then end up ordering a lot more from directly from the website without even having to go into the store sometimes. I'm also joined by Mark Steele, who has been in the industry maybe even a little longer than me. We've been veterans in the space for a while. He's the EVP of Sales at Tulip Retail, and he's going to talk about the mobile platform that they have. Okay. Packed agenda. I'm going to set the stage with a couple of stats and some industry perspective. Then we're going to hear from Dominique about the Bonobos story. Whoops. And then we'll head into a couple of other areas, and we'll try to leave some room for Q&A. But if not, then just coming up here, we'll meet on this side, and these guys will hang around. So quick question so that we know who's in the audience. How many of you have stores? Okay, so it's like 95%, I'd say, of the audience, which is why you're here. How many of you think your store associates are meeting expectations in terms of the customer experience? We know that customer is really demanding, right? How many of you think they're meeting expectations? Like 5% maybe. How many of you think your store associates are exceeding expectations? Come on, somebody's got to be the speaker next year. Okay, one over there. What company? Lululemon, okay. All right, so wonderful. So that's why we're here. That's why this topic is really relevant for where we are today, because right now the customer experience, the customer expects a lot from her, and I'm going to say her because that's changing now probably, and it's not so much of a her for Bonobos, but she or he walks into the store with expectations already. She or he logs onto your website with expectations already. So whether you think you're competing with Amazon, Nordstrom, Lululemon, or whomever, she is already being trained in that customer experience. So when she walks into your store, she is expecting for you to know her, for you to know what her preferences are. And even if she's not, she'd like to be delighted in that way. So I highly doubt I have to sell to you guys the notion of customer experience and omni-channel and being customer-centric about her, and that the store piece is absolutely critical, and that your store associates, the more they can operate like a personal shopper, a fulfillment specialist, and a brand champion, and a customer advocate, and a customer service agent all in one, the better off that customer experience will be. You guys sold on that? Yeah? Okay. So my team also runs the NRF Omnichannel Retail Index. This is the official index of the NRF, where we study 120 sites throughout the year. And you can go onto our site and you can download reports and data on this. And when we examine sites, stores, and mobile, so we're taking an omni-channel view and studying about 100 of the 120, 100 have stores, 20 do not. But omni-channel isn't just about stores and web, it's about mobile and social and so on. These are some of the statistics that we found. So 63% of retailers empower store associates to look up an item online or from another store. Some of you call this save a sale, some of you call this endless aisle. Sometimes it may be a legacy way of doing this. This may be a new capability. But that's a pretty high number. 61% of retailers offer buy in store and ship anywhere. Also a pretty high number. So if you're not doing this now, sort of the peer set or the leading set are already really investing in this. This is 2/3 of this set. 32% of retailers offer the ability to buy online and pick up in store. Again, a really high number considering the operational challenges that this requires. So as we look through omnichannel, often I hear folks talk about the customer experience or where I have to have real-time inventory. And the reality is you have to solve omni-channel across all three of these different areas. And we could draw these boxes in different ways, but we have to market to her in an omni-channel way. We have to create that customer experience in an omni-channel way, and we have to enable it in the background. Some of you, your challenges are more in the customer experience. Some of you are still working on data and inventory. And now we like to say personalization is the new omni-channel. How do we make that customer experience specific to her and really only her? So yes, they're buzzwords, but this is the holy grail that everyone is working towards. And our goal is to really thrill her, to really understand how she behaves, what's she looking for, what drives her, what will build loyalty. We don't just want that one sale, we want multiple sales. And how do we figure out what that gap is between the customer journey? And if any of you guys have done this or aren't doing this, you must map out your customer journey on paper. What is it? Where are the decision points? What is the actual way that she makes this decision? And what are the factors that help her? So that you can figure out what is the ideal shopping experience that you can support. And that includes probably a multiple touch point scenario. She gets an email, she goes by the store, she goes online on her laptop at work, and then she goes onto her tablet and then her phone. It's many, many touch points. And as you do this, invest deliberately so that what is currently table stakes, what is currently best practices is going to become table stakes, and what's currently innovation is going to become best practices. So you have to be very deliberate about this investment approach. And one of these areas, again, we believe is around what happens in the store. And then test and adjust and test and adjust. The strategy is always a constant motion. You know, a lot of people ask us, we do a lot of strategy work, and one of our favorite sayings is there is no such thing as a digital strategy. It's strategy in a digital world. And with that, I'm going to hand things over to Dominique.
Great. Well, thank you guys for taking the time out. As Bernadine said, my name is Dominique Essig, and I'm the Chief Experience Officer at Bonobos. And so what does that mean? It's a new title. Really, my job is focused on creating great experiences, and that is done both digitally for our consumers, if you think about shopping online, and also through the technology and the investments that we buy for our teams internally. So for those of you that are not familiar, who is Bonobos? And we are a vertical menswear brand that was started online, started digitally in 2007. We have since grown, besides first starting kind of to solve a simple challenge. How do we create a better fitting men's pants? And second, how do we reduce the hassles and challenges of shopping? So we did the first by creating a great pant, curved waistband, better fit, really hugs and fits all in the right places. And we've extended that across multiple sizes, multiple fits, and we've gone everywhere from a tuxedo to a bathing suit. So you name it, we've got it. The second is really around kind of better shopping experience, and that we've continued to evolve. We have a strong focus and mission on customer experience, and so that is something that we do every day. It happens with our 30 guide shops around the country, soon to be 31, our superior customer service, which is done by our ninjas, and free shipping returns and a 90-day return policy. So what is a guide shop? What are these places that we have around the country? A guide shop is a physical opportunity for our customers to experience our brand. And so what does that mean? They are inventory-less showrooms, meaning we carry every size and every color, but not every size in every color, which just allows us to have a smaller footprint and really to have a super strong focus on service. And so most customers come in through an appointment-driven model, some through walk-in, and it really does allow a one-to-one relationship between the customer and the guide. Now, the guide is there to really help the customer learn about Bonobos, drive an orientation around the brand, think about fit, think about the products that they might need, and really educate them into this relationship that we're about to start. So, back to the topic at hand, why would we need technology? Why would it be important for us to have a point of sale? What we found is that our assortment and our stores continue to grow. We really needed to make sure that we had a technology solution that allowed our guide to focus on the customer, right? If you think about the day-to-day responsibility of your store associate or our guide, there's so much that has to happen. And we needed one solution that allowed our guide to have that relationship and that be the only thing that he focuses on. I'll say he, not she. So it was important that we allowed one tool to handle everything from the start of the booking of the appointment, when customers walking in, shopping the catalog, purchasing the product, and all post-service. And Tulip is that solution for us. As I said, it's one tool, and what it does, it also easily integrates into our single account. So kind of the buzzword of the day obviously being omnichannel, every transaction is truly, truly omnichannel for us. It goes back to one profile, one customer. And it really does allow us to track data across every experience, whether that's digitally or whether that's in store. So we piloted the Tulip solution starting in January 2016. We did an A/B test with 4 stores across the country, and then we compared that to 4 typical stores. And what we saw was pretty high success rates. All the cameras went up. So first and foremost was high satisfaction scores, and that is really around the guide. What was so important is the guide felt that we had enabled them to have a single piece of technology, which happens to be an iPad, allowed them to roam around the store, to not carry this laptop around, kind of this clunky experience. And we just saw huge satisfaction rates from our guides. They really enjoyed rolling out Tulip, and most said it was one of the most impactful technology solutions we had put into the store. Second, obviously, key to have metrics that matter to the business. We saw an increase in average order value, an increase in units per transaction, and then a ton of feedback and surveys also to our customers. And what we saw and continue to see is rising Net Promoter Scores. But I think what was most important of all of the metrics actually was less about the quantitative and more about the qualitative. As a result of removing the laptop, that was this physical barrier between the guide and the customer. What we saw is that customers started to really focus on the service that we were driving. So instead of being focused on the transaction and understanding why is this guide making this transaction on a laptop, couldn't I have just done that at home? They started to really focus on the interaction that was happening between them and the guide. There was much more of a focus on the service, the fitting, the explaining of the product. It became a very collaborative relationship where customers started to feel much more comfortable and then understand the value of the guide shop. So what was so incredibly important to us was that it focused less on the transaction and much more on the relationship. And I think as retailers, we're all striving to really have that relationship with our consumer. And this tool really did allow us to kind of go back to that. So what's next for us? As I said, we piloted in 4 stores, and then in April 2016, we rolled it out to all of our stores. We continue to iterate and find great value in the tool, but we're incredibly excited for the next phase for us. So the next evolution is really clienteling. And this is taking the relationship between the guide and the customer beyond the four walls, right? So today we have this very healthy and happy relationship that happens in the store, but what we want is that relationship to extend beyond the four walls. We want to create an easier process for our guides to follow up with our customers. We want to increase not just in-store conversion, but obviously at-home conversion, really allowing that relationship, whether it's an event, kind of a change in life events, or whatever it might be, that the guide can reach out and establish that relationship with the customer. And we want to enable and standardize communication. As you can imagine, with all of the things that our guides or store associates do every day, it's important for them to have the right templates, that they can continue to communicate in their voice, but that we've given them the foundation to make that communication as easy as ever. So we will be piloting and rolling out clienteling starting in February. Incredibly excited about that next level of innovation, and really do feel that the Tulip tool has allowed us to be successful and to enable our guides to have the right technology in their hands. Mark.
For those of you taking pictures, we'll distribute the slides. If you got scanned, you'll get a link to the slides, so don't worry about that.
Cool. Thanks, Dominique. Over the last decade, retailers have been making a huge investment in online, in digital, in e-commerce. Stores, and more importantly, store associates, have been neglected. Our mission at Tulip, together with our global strategic partner, Apple, is to put an iOS device in the hands of every single store associate in the world to allow them to sell more, sell better, and really deliver a personalized experience inside the store. Today, you've seen firsthand how Bonobos is making a significant investment in their store associates. They're giving them the tools, the data, the information to really deliver a relevant experience, not only inside the store, but also to continue that conversation when the customer leaves the store. As Dominique mentioned, when Bonobos was looking for technology to drive this level of empowerment, they weren't looking for a one-trick pony that would do one specific task. They were looking for a platform that could not only integrate with existing legacy systems and multiple data sources that they're using, but one that is going to really truly be able to deliver a consolidated and very powerful mobile experience for their associates or for their guides. Today, when a store associate or a guide of Bonobos comes into work in the morning, they log into the Tulip platform. Not only are they able to do some of the tasks that Dominique talked about today, but going forward into the future, they're going to be able to run their entire task management system and their entire business directly from the Tulip platform. So mobile POS, clienteling, store operations, training, all in one consolidated platform, as opposed to what we're seeing with a lot of our prospects today, multiple applications sitting on a single iOS device, whereby the store associate has to log into different things to be able to do different tasks. So having that consolidation story is obviously extremely powerful. Some of the things our customers are using Tulip for, giving them a very rich understanding and view in the entire customer profile. So, what the customer's contact information is, but way beyond that. Social media profile, what they have in their closet today, their sizing profile. Any data source that a retailer currently has, we're able to consolidate into our platform and provide it in that single view of the customer. Some of the other things they're doing, giving them access to an entire omni-channel view of a customer's purchase history. So how much more relevant is that experience when the associate actually knows the items that you've bought in store in the past, online, through the call center, and leverages that information to personalize your experience inside the store. A lot of our customers are blurring the lines between e-commerce, the digital world, and the store, giving, again, very rich data to these store associates so they can be informed around what that customer is also doing online, not just when they're in the store with them. So one of our customers today is deploying the ability to be able to provide the store associate with a view of the customer's browsing history as they come in the store. So now, as I'm with an associate, the associate can say, hey, I see that you've been looking at this particular pair of pants. We've got the new color that just came in. Let me show you a perfect outfit around that. In their spare time, associates can act more like stylists now. So instead of sitting around and folding clothes, they have the ability to use this centralized and this core platform to build looks for the customers, create outfits, send personalized emails to that customer, all with trackability at the back end, whereby if I get an email from my guide or from my associate saying, hey, this outfit just came out, I think it'll look good, and I click on that image, it'll take me to their e-commerce channel, allow me to purchase through that e-commerce channel, but also have all of the attribution and reconciliation in the back end, so that store associate gets credit for that sale, which again is keeping them engaged, allowing them to go beyond the walls of the brick and mortar store. Communicating directly with the customers. So obviously having that two-way dialogue as we go forward, being able to send emails, personalize that customer, WeChat, SMS, all through a centralized platform. We have customers like, for example, Saks Fifth Avenue, where store associates were using their own mobile devices, sending text to customers. Nobody knew what they were saying to them. Those associates would go work somewhere else. They would take that information with them. Now they're leveraging this centralized tool to be able to send that communication directly to the customer, but also have it indexed and archived for managers and marketing to, as my next slide's noting here, have the reporting and analytics behind that. So what does a retailer need to do to embark on a strategy around empowering their store associates? It doesn't have to be difficult. And we work with some of the world's leading retailers today, from Toys R Us to Saks Fifth Avenue to Lululemon, Bonobos, and many, many others. The older you are as a retailer, the more challenges you're going to have as it relates to legacy systems and where that data currently resides. Our secret sauce and why we've been so effective in this space is we're able to integrate with those old systems, bring all that data to the forefront, normalize it, aggregate it, and then present it in a beautiful iOS view to the store associate to really for them to empower them to really do the tasks that they need to do on a day-to-day basis. So the time for retail is now. The time is now to invest in these store associates. Your customers are walking into your retail store. They have a mobile device in hand. They've probably done research. They have access to endless amounts of information. At most retailers, on the other hand, store associates have nothing. They have a green screen cash register. They have a paper and pen to work with, and that's about it. Especially today, in the times where we're seeing increased pressure from online retailers, the stores need to be more relevant. There has to be a reason for that consumer to want to come into your store, and part of that reason is to have engaging with associates who are empowered, who have all the information available at the palm of their hands to truly deliver a superior experience inside the store. We're in booth 4346. This is my shameless plug. If anybody would like to see a full demo of the platform and get some insights on how many of our retailers are using it today, please feel free to drop by. Bernadine?
All right, are you guys feeling inspired? Are you guys feeling inspired? How many of you guys are interested in looking at this kind of technology? Not necessarily Tulip, but we like Tulip. But just store associate tools in the next, 6 months. How many of you guys are going to invest in that? Let's say about 50%, maybe 40, 50%. All right, so this has been great. Thank you very much to my co-presenters. We do have some information up here. Don't forget to come up and get it if you didn't get it already. The Fit for Commerce booth is right out here as well. And come on up here. We have like 15 minutes before the next presentation. We'll stick around over here if you want to come up and speak to us.